Yeah, so this is the first stream. This is probably going to be awkward as shit, in part because I have never streamed before. So, um, I've got, hey, a couple people already here. Awesome. Um, yeah, okay, great. Now I can provide some links to other places. Awesome. Uh, let's see, where the hell? Yeah, well, I can just edit that. Bear with me, guys. See if I can find anything here on YouTube. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this shit. I, honest to God, don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. Awesome! We have it. Yay! Shit just got real. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So, oh wait, I'm probably that one, aren't I? I should probably close this then. All right, so we got to figure out what we're going to do here. I'm going to be doing this for as long as I can. Uh, Probably I'm shooting for around 3 hours. That seems decent here. If you guys got comments, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, by all means, we have a chat. Let's use it. Because that would be, kind of freaking awesome. Let's see. Let me put this in a few other places. My Discord. I got a friend's Discord. Will probably let me. Doesn't mind me doing this. So. Okay. Hopefully nobody gets pissed about me doing it that way. All right. Okay, so what do we got going on? We've got the whole Donald Trump, Elon Musk fiasco, and I I'm not sure that's going to work out well. I don't really have an opinion on that. I get where Musk is coming from on the one big beautiful bill. It's massive. I'm generally supportive of it because of the Hearing Protection Act, but it's there's a lot of shit, right? It's looking at a ton of more deficit spending, but it's a reconciliation bill. There's actually going to be a budget bill that supposedly fixes some of this. I don't really understand. I haven't really delved into where the differences are. Just budgets, please, for the love of God, don't make me have to deal with those. So, whatever. Needing to try something here real quick. Yeah, okay. So, for whatever reason, if you guys are saying anything, I'm not seeing it. So, I'm gonna have to kind of poke around a little bit. Um see if anyone's actually saying anything at all. Oh boy, this is not, glorious by any stretch of the imagination. But that's also kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing here because I do intend to have uh, members only live stream, and so to do that, I'm gonna have to have some experience, live streaming. I don't, and so I'm having to figure out shit. Um, like, okay, like screen share. Uh, Let me figure out what we got going. Um, like, all right, like this right here. Okay. So we're gonna do. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this one. Okay. See, that's cool and all, right? It's like you can see. I'm looking at arms from my. Everybody else has this little like box, right? You know, we've got this little box like right somewhere on the screen, and I don't know how they do that. It's like I look at this, and I'm like, that does it. I don't know. Uh, let's see. Um, let's try this one. See if that does it. It it does not. Okay, so I have completely wasted my time. Awesome. Um, I really don't know what's going on here. Uh, so right now I'm bouncing between because I actually tried sending a message through um, on Kick. Uh, Nothing came through. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh dear lordy, lordy, lordy. Um, you know, yeah, what's going on? Whatever. We're gonna play. All right, so the big, beautiful bill bullshit. Um, yeah, like I say, I don't really understand enough of the specifics to see what the beef is. If I have a preference for anybody in this, I don't like the fact that Musk made an issue with a point of policy, and Trump immediately started abusing it. Getting very personal about it. I don't like that about Trump. Um, he could have just said, yeah, this is something we just disagree on. It's no big deal. People can disagree, and it's fine. For some reason, that's just not an option for these guys. Uh, okay. Wait, we got one. Landy May. What do you have? What do I have for you today? God Almighty. Confusion. There's a lot of confusion. Uh, I'm first stream, so there will probably be alcohol involved in a little. So just be advised. Um, yeah, I do politics. That's what I do. But what the hell? Okay, I'm sorry. I've got you know noises coming from various places. It's rather confusing. Oh, it looks like there's a bit of a delay. Okay, cool. That explains some stuff then. All right. Awesome sauce. All right. So for me, in a way, they kind of act like babies. But on the same token, I'm hearing some people who think that these two guys are very much playing a bit, which, I mean, while they're doing this, nobody's paying attention to anything else. This is eating up the news cycle. And yeah, it's whatever, it's going to do that. Um, you got two of the two very rich men, powerful men who are beefing with one another, like live streamers. Um, and yeah, it's gonna get a lot of attention, especially considering Musk was a big part in Trump winning the election. There's going to be beef, and it's going to get ugly unless they are making a huge distraction so something else can get through. Is that viable? Is that realistic? Honestly, at this point, they've got enough control over stuff. They don't seem to give a shit. Either of them give a shit about what the press says. I don't get the play. I don't see it. I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't see it right now. Oh God, what do we got here? So yeah, it's all right. Whatevs. How do people do this shit? How do they do this? How does Tectone and Asmongold do this shit for hours every day? Of course, part of it is they actually are reacting to content, watching stuff, dealing with Hassan Piker. I don't have to deal with that, thank God. I'm small enough I can poke at him and he doesn't give a fuck. Which is a shame because I think it would do wonders for my career if Hassan decided to take something I said personally. And trust me, I can say plenty of shit personal about him. Oh yeah. Of course, and again, I'm a 50-year-old fucking live streamer. What the hell do I know? Oh yeah. First drink of the day, Calumet 16. This was actually given to me by I teach longsword, and my students gave me this bottle. And I owe a drink for each one that gets advanced. And I had some get advanced a couple weeks ago, and I've been kind of not fulfilling my instructor duties by drinking in their honor. This is my last one. So, oh God, this stuff smells so good. Yes. Ooh, really good taste. Oh. Anyway, yeah, so, worst case scenario, I might get good and hammered, and you can just see a drunk dude talking shit. Hassan. Let's talk about Hassan Piker for a minute. Hassan Piker, somebody who has spent his entire career in the limelight, started very, very early on YouTube content with the Young Turks, which his uncle co-owns, so total Nepo baby. Terrorist sympathizer who I'm going to get to him and, why that factors in here in a minute. But yeah, the dude's a fucking idiot. He's an absolute retard. And yes, he's a terrorist. In fact, if you look up in the top right of your screen, you'll see that I am on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. That other link is Kick. You won't find a Twitch stream. Why won't you find a Twitch stream? Twitch is like the big streaming platform, right? Or big platform dedicated to streaming. YouTube is still probably the biggest. But the fact is, there's a dude named Tectone. I've already mentioned him. Tectone just caught his third ban in the last, last 60 days, he said. One of those bans was legitimate. He kind of lost his shit on a viewer, told him to off himself. He caught the ban, and he owns that. Much respect for acknowledging it. But he got a ban for calling a fat fuck fat. Apparently spitting absolute facts. For the record, her name's Frogan, which just sounds like somebody who, she's damn near Jabba the Hutt in a burqa, right? It's not really a burqa, but I mean, she's she's Muslim, she's covered up. It's like Jabba the Hutt had sex with an old school nun, and Frogan was the offspring. Just putting it out there. He called her fat. Twitch banned her. This bitch literally said, she had said she, America deserved 9/11. That, she hoped all soldiers got PTSD as a veteran. Frogan, fuck you. But that's what she said she wanted. That's what she said she wanted. She didn't get banned. Tectone did. Twitch has a part of their terms of service where, streamers can't go after what streamers say to each other off platform matters. For example, if you're beefing on Twitter and you cross that line, that, Twitch's line, you're supposed to get, you're supposed to catch ban. Two streamers, one named Denims, and one named Justin Minks. Both are calling him a rapist. They are accusing him of sexual assault. They are saying, definitively, he's committed sexual assault. They have no evidence of this. Apparently, there were some allegations a year ago, went nowhere because it sounds like there's nothing there. They called him a rapist. Without charges, without a conviction, that's arguably slander. And it should definitely be slander in the eyes of a platform. But he called both of them, because they have OnlyFans, he called them whores. Now, let's be perfectly honest here. Calling somebody a whore does not create reputational harm, especially when you have an OnlyFans. Okay? Let's be perfectly honest. If you're showing your cooch or you're showing your boobs for money, calling you a whore is really not hurting your reputation. The moment you start an OnlyFans for any kind of content that, even if it's just hard R content, your reputation can't take a hit by being called a whore. The one exception is if you start an OnlyFans like Donut Operator did, where he says, did one of rate your meat, and he'd pull out a fucking steak. He act like he's doing something sexual, he'd pull out a goddamn steak and, rate his meat. I think that's fucking brilliant. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a whore. Well, okay, I probably would if I knew him well enough, but it's different there. Justin Minks, Denims, both have OnlyFans. Calling him a whore, no reputational damage. Calling someone a rapist, saying his dad is a rapist, that's something else they do. It has potentially life-ending consequences, career-ending consequences. If people buy into that shit, it can destroy his entire livelihood. And let's be perfectly honest, if you try to go from streamer to a 9-to-5 job, you're going to have a hard fucking time. So that's why there's not a Twitch stream, right? Because Twitch can lick my left nut. It's funny, as censorious as YouTube can be, and it can be very censorious, it at least tends to apply the terms of service a little more evenly. Twitch doesn't even make, Hasan Piker has interviewed fucking Houthi terrorists. He has actively said he supports Hamas. He has, he seemingly tried to defend on some level, mildly, the shooter who killed 2 Israeli embassy staffers. To his credit, he offered no quibble on the Boulder attacker. He absolutely called that shit fucked up. I'll give him respect for that. But Jesus Christ, they let him get away with shit. And I'm sorry, I don't really feel like supporting a platform that will not support me. Okay? And all that support is just apply the rules evenly. At this point, I mean, Jesus Christ, I've got 4 people watching. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Is that too much? I don't think so. And yet, here we are. Yeah. I've been watching clips from Tech Home from Asmongold. I'm usually too busy during their streams to actually watch. And sitting there watching a recording of a stream is just not my kind of thing. But I've watched clips. And I've been following the drama between them and Hasan and everything. And it's like, I swear to God, in some ways it's like high school. I left that shit behind a long time ago. Man, my high school days were literally in the last century. Oh, fuck. That was last century. I'm going to need a lot more drink. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. I ain't going to lie. Yeah, the shit's like $180-something a bottle. That's why I drink it sparingly. After this one, I'm going to literally anything else. But, dude. Oh, man. But yeah, that's why I'm not going to be doing Twitch. I'll multi-stream, but Twitch has nothing for me. I don't have, a lot of people say, well, the community's great and all this other stuff. And, I don't fault anyone for that. I don't have a live stream community. This is my first live stream. Hey, Sarah, you have not missed much except me fucking around. So don't feel bad. I appreciate you joining me. So what have y'all got going today? Y'all got anything in particular y'all want to talk about? Just hit it up in the comments. I would appreciate it because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've been part, it's funny. I've been part of live streams before, but it was always someone else's live stream. I was a guest. They came on, they interviewed me, whatever. Last one I did was a show called The Rundown. A couple buddies of mine do it every day. And they were like, hey, come on in and, be a guest. Last time, Craig DeLuz was like, yes, Sarah, fuck Twitch. Absolutely. Just not with my dick. There's not enough alcohol back here to get me that drunk. Right. Anyways, I kind of stepped in and filled a co-host role. I didn't have to do anything except, sit on camera and try to look pretty. I don't succeed. I get that. But yeah, this is new for me. I appreciate you being here, Sarah. Seriously, that means a lot. All new, this isn't completely new territory. I'm a writer, right? I've been writing for years. I write plenty of op-eds, plenty of commentary. I jumped into YouTube. I haven't been doing that very long. And now I'm, trying to live stream. The goal is to do members only live streams. Members should at least have a clue. Members should not necessarily get my least polished possible product. And that's where I'm at right I am going to have to do some looking around and seeing how to do some stuff. I do know somebody who can probably guide me a little bit on some of that, because I'm just I it's weird because yeah, it's just nothing's working the way it should. So whatever. All right. So yeah, fuck Twitch. Let's see, Landy, if you want to continue about Twitch, why do you think they're lopsided on their punishment for streamers? Honestly, it boils down to politics of the people in control. It seems to me that the people on top, was it Clancy, something or other? I don't fucking know. It seems to me that he is more likely to agree with Hasan and his crowd. But so when Tectone crosses the line, wham! Knock him down. Knock it down. Asmongold, same thing. The only reason Hasan caught any kind of ban was because he was clearly showing some sympathies towards the shooter. He read the manifesto. He said he was trying to read it critically. I didn't watch it, so I can't really say. But they gave him a ban there. It was one day, and they arranged it with him, so it was his day off anyways. He lost nothing. Tectone caught a week for responding to two people who called him a rapist in an unkind way. The only thing that makes any sense is they agree with Hasan and his orbiters. That's the only thing that makes any sense at all. So, and the fact is that apparently Clancy has a propensity for the younger ladies, and Denims is not an entirely unattractive woman. Just Minx, when she's not drunk and showing her ass, can look somewhat attractive, I guess. You couple all that together, and it's just, yeah, it really is fucked up, Sarah. It's seriously fucked up. The only thing that makes sense is that they agree more or less with Hasan and his orbiters. If it was just Hasan getting away with shit, it would be, okay, he's a big streamer. He's one of the bigger streamers. We're going to let him get away with it. I don't think Asmongold's gotten caught a ban on anything that I'm aware of. Because I think he's one of the biggest streamers too, if not the biggest. So it's very much makes sense that, maybe, okay, the bigger streamers get a little bit different application of the rules. Because if they bring in a lot of money when they're on the stream, if they're not on the stream and they don't bring in money, it hurts Twitch as a company. It's still bullshit, but it's understandable bullshit at that point, right? But Denims isn't bringing in that much. Minx isn't bringing in that much. I'm not saying they're tiny streamers necessarily. I haven't really looked in their metrics, but they're, they are not Hasan. Az got one a while back. Okay. I mean, he's said some shit, a couple of things here and there, nowhere near Hasan, but he's, okay, he caught a ban, big deal. Of course, that's why, part of why, Tectone is multi-streaming. That's why Asmongold's multi-streaming. A lot of people are going into multi-streaming, just because Twitch is treating people like shit. And I mean, look right here. I got, 3/4 of you are on YouTube. YouTube is the biggest video platform on the planet. there's no reason to leave that money on the table anyways. Tech talks about it, Tecton talks about it, making him a shitload of money. Let's see. It almost sounded like in the unsubscribe with Tecton that they reversed one of his after he brought in more sponsors and they found out his money making skills. Kind of the way I interpreted that though really was that they found out he was just making more money through Kick. That he actually had just made a whole lot more money with even fewer viewers on Kick, and they didn't like the idea that all that money was going to their competitor. But yeah, there was also there are also the sponsors. Dude's got sponsors out the ass who do not give a fuck. They do not give a shit. And, it's completely, it was funny that they did back off so quick because what was it supposed to be, like a 3-week ban or some shit, or 2-week? I mean, it was supposed to be a big ban, and they cut that shit out after like 2 days, which had to piss off the other side. It just had to. I heard that shit and it was glorious. I didn't even know who Tectone was until he started talking about unsubscribe. Because a lot of the streamers out there, they're not producing content I'm into. Plus, I'm usually too fucking busy to watch 2-3 hours of a stream. When you're a freelancer, if you're not working, you're not making any money. But I started watching Tech. Otter, my brother, awesome to see you, man. I'm going to have to hit you up later about some shit because I got some confusion. But I'm glad you're here, man. I really am. But guys, anyone on Rumble, check out old Freedom Otter here. He reads a lot of my stuff on his channel. It's kind of gratifying to the ego. God knows I need all the help I can get because I'm married and my wife will not let me have an ego. Pretty sure that if we ever split, she's getting my ego in the divorce. But yeah, you got to stream at 9. I'm finishing up around 9, so that's perfect, man. Awesome. So when we get done here, go over to Rumble, check out Otter stream. And say, yeah, after that you're available. Okay, cool. I'll probably just like hit you up on, DM or something on Twitter. Because, it's just, I'm sure there's I'm using Rumble Studio, which Otter actually, recommended. And for the most part, everything is stupid easy. It really is stupid easy. There's just one thing I want to be able to do, and it's not doing that. I don't know if that's an OBS thing I'm going to need to try to play with or what. But it's working really great otherwise, which is awesome. Gonna go some now. Awesome. There you go. Otter worth the appearance, isn't it? I love communities, man. I love it. We support one another and all that other stuff. Another channel to check out if you guys are not familiar, check out on YouTube, Tactical Turtleneck. Dude is cool as shit, does great content. He has retweeted some of my videos. So, definitely go show him some love. Tell him Tom at the Fourth Rail said hi. Yeah, I could get a lot of trouble drinking on stream. It can be entertaining as shit too, though. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in as a drunk. How some people are angry drunks, some people are sad drunks, some people are happy drunks. I'm whatever I'm feeling at the moment, amplified. And I've had anxiety today, so what could possibly go wrong? No, I'm actually pretty chill now. Oh. So, what do we got in the wide world of sports? Let me see what's trending on Twitter here. Let's see. I liked it when you had actually had a trending like thing over at the side. It just told you everyone that's trending. Now you got to go look for it. Yeah, fuck that shit. Scott Pilgrim is number 2 trending. How is the hell is Scott Pilgrim trending? I mean, Jesus Christ. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie. My oldest absolutely love the comics. But Jesus Christ. Oh, new Scott Pilgrim game will release in 2020. Oh shit. I gotta make sure my oldest has seen that. Um Oh, had to do that because he is a huge. Hey Matt, great catch! Glad to be caught. Awesome. Sherman, you're on your third beer. It's only 3:35. Sarah, awesome. I respect this. My philosophy is that there's only 2 times of the day you should drink: daytime and nighttime. Yes, it's what little bit I've seen of it was a very good comic. I absolutely love the movie. I'm a sucker for Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I absolutely loved her since I saw her in Sky High, and I mean that as an actress, not as a creepy Scott Ritter kind of way. She was just a really impressive actress in a field that was mostly in a movie that was mostly dominated by the adult actors. She just was awesome. Then she made it became part of the Die Hard franchise and Scott Pilgrim, and I absolutely love it. Cheers, yes, absolutely. I it. I haven't had a chance to read the comics. I need to. I really do. I love comics. I used to collect them. All right, I had a pretty good collection when I was in the Navy. It's kind of funny because my roommate and I were both collectors, and we would put our collection up on the walls with thumbtacks. What am I sipping on? Hold on. County May 16, Kentucky bourbon. Really nice stuff, but this is the only one of those I'm drinking today. After this, I'm probably going to go to Statesman, Old Forester Statesman. Fun fact, this was actually marketing with the second Kingsman movie, and it was so popular they just kept it in production. When am I going on unsub? Whatever they ask me. I've talked to Rich, a few times. I've talked to Nick once. I communicated with Donut very, very briefly, as in I sent him a message. He replied. I sent back, never heard from him. God knows he's probably inundated. But it's going to be a little bit probably before they decide to have me on. It'd be great. It'd be awesome for the career. And frankly, those guys just look like so much damn fun. So that's the answer to that. I would love it, man. I absolutely love it. If you guys want to see me on Unsub, let the guys know. Let them know early, often, all that stuff. Sooner or later, I'm sure it'll happen. I'm apparently getting on their radar a little bit, because Rich definitely knows who I am. Nick and HLC follow me on Twitter. Yeah, this is Old Forester. I've heard great things. This is the only Old Forester I currently have, but I'm definitely going to be getting into some more. I kind of want, they've got that one that was the Prohibition era formula. I definitely want that, and I just haven't had a chance to get it. I love a good bourbon, and I have, as you see, part of my collection behind me. Yeah, I love bourbon. Oh, if Rich wants me, man, I will make time for that man. I've been pretty upfront that he's thoroughly impressed me in our communication. In fact, it's funny. I actually reached out to him. I was like, do you realize what path you started me on? And he's like, what the hell did I do? And I told him, it's like, I keep seeing a lot of this Buffalo like shit other places. And he really encouraged me. And so if he says, hey, you want to come on? Dude, I don't give a shit. He's like, it's going to be 3 a.m. your time. I don't give a shit. I'll be here. We're going to be drunk. I don't care. I'll work the next day, ripped. I don't care. At this point, I'm pretty much to the point if he's like, I need a kidney. If mine matches, I'd at least consider it. On the other, have I heard any more, seen any more on BPS? The last I heard, and I did a video about this one on YouTube, there's an attorney who specializes in sexual assault cases. That's her specialty, and she's currently representing 12 families of Buffalo public school students. If this goes through with a lawsuit, it's going to be interesting because the last 2 independent investigations they've done have never been made public. They conducted the investigation, waited till everything died down, and then just sat on it. And it probably would have worked if Rich hadn't gone on unsub and blown the damn whistle. And now people are looking at these others going, you guys are fucking up all across the board. But with a lawsuit, there's discovery. They're not going to be able to hide that. They can redact certain information, students' names, personal identifying information for non-defendants. There's a limited set of things they can redact. They can't hide everything. And so if that happens and it goes to court, we are going to get all that stuff becomes public once it enters the evidentiary record in a lawsuit. As it stands right now, though, they haven't managed to find a firm to conduct the independent investigation. They did manage to name an auditorium after the superintendent, who is functionally retarded because she's, knee deep in all this shit. They can name they can name an auditorium after. They can't find someone to do the independent investigation. I know the fat electrician was saying that he was going to apply. I don't know if he did. I pray to God that he did. And they're trying to figure out a way to fuck him over on that. Good God. Nick seems really social, but he's got way too much hyperfocus to not either be severely ADHD or autistic. Because when he locks in, Jesus Christ, if I ever act like I want to piss Nick off, please, someone reach through the computer and slap the shit out of me. All right? Because I do not want that man angry at me. Not only can he fold my clothes with me still wearing them, he can also dig up shit I didn't even know I did. So, but that's, right now with Buffalo, that's pretty much where we're at. My last video was on how the New York Attorney General can defend illegal immigrants, but not look into Buffalo. Truth be told, Letitia James, I don't trust her to get the job done anyways. But it would be nice if she at least faked making the effort. Is that too much to ask? At least pretend. Oh God, yes, it would be epic if he did it. Oh man, I would love it. I would absolutely love it if Nick could do the investigation. And I would also kind of love it if he decided, we're going to do like the Twitter files. And we're going to give it to a journalist, and I'm probably one of the front runners. Nate Benson's also up there. Yeah, she absolutely hates Rich. You know what? This shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't fucking matter. This is about kids, not Rich. Let's see. ICE agents were locked in a business in LA, and then crowd formed outside. Tear gas was deployed. I am of the opinion we need to rescind California's statehood. We need to make it a territory. Fat Tish is too busy Golden Corral buffet in Albany. You know, that's fair. For the record, I cringe a little bit when I hear, talk about Albany, New York, because I'm from Albany, Georgia. And we have a Golden Corral that's actually pretty good. But yeah, when she's not doing that, she's also trying to figure out how to protect her ass from real estate fraud, apparently. Allegedly, Tish. It's okay. I asked her if I can call her Tish, and she didn't tell me no in the 30 seconds I gave her while recording a video, which is completely admissible in law. Okay, it's probably not, but do I look like a fucking lawyer? My parents weren't related. If there's any lawyers in the stream, I apologize. Hey, nine total people. That's actually kind of awesome. There's actually a certain point where I can do ad reads and get money. So that's pretty cool. Don't know if I'm actually going to do much of that. New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. I much respect for Bruen, right? Much respect for Bruen. Now, if only the Supreme Court would actually enforce that shit. Yes, I am still pissed about Snopes. I love this. This is actually a Christmas present. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button. Little ASMR. Oh, yeah. Please tell me that came through on the mic. Oh, Jesus Christ. I did not mean to pour that much. Oh well. I don't have to work tomorrow, so who gives a shit? Yeah, you'll be talking about it. It's the big story. It really is. Washington Times had an editorial. It came through great. Washington Times had an editorial about it, and they're thinking, their argument is that, well, Congress and the president need to pass national reciprocity to send a signal to Supreme Court. And don't get me wrong, I want national reciprocity. If for no other reason than California, New York, and New Jersey will absolutely lose their shit. It'll be worth it right there. But it's not going to send a signal. If it was going to, the Hearing Protection Act going through would do it arguably even better. That's plus, frankly, the Supreme Court's not supposed to pay attention to that kind of thing. That said, I don't know that I'm going to argue too hard about it, because if it works, if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. This is really good. If you ever get a chance, grab yourself a bottle of Statesman. I said I got it because I love the Kingsman movies. They're so stupid, but they're the right kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? Hey, wait, 48 minutes. Jesus Christ, I'm talking. Okay, now I can see how they do it. All right, they do it with alcohol, I'm sure. No, probably not, because Tectone does this shit early in the fucking morning. My guy. Actually jumped on his stream a little bit earlier, and it was like, it's weird jumping in a stream midstream, I guess. And you don't have a clue what the fuck's going on. I don't know how he does his streams. Like I say, I've been seeing clips. But so far, this is actually pretty fun. Dude, we're going to have some fun. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. Because I don't work for Buffalo Public Schools. Sorry, guys. Oh, God, yeah, that's good. Yeah, not everyone can do a sipping whiskey. There's a trick to it, though. That is drinking straight liquor like it's hot coffee. Don't leave it in your mouth. Don't try to swish it around. All that shit you see wine, aficionados do. Don't do any of that. Just sip it like it's hot coffee. That gets it through a little bit. Also, you can use water to kind of like prime your mouth a little bit so it doesn't burn as much. Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Love the support. I mean, seriously, since I jumped into the Buffalo thing and said, I've got Rich's back, it has been amazing how many people are like, oh, you got Rich's back? We got yours. And, I've been absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. I know some of you guys probably came from, that stuff, and you guys do not know how much I appreciate it. Because I'm going to be perfectly blunt, covering the shit's rough on me. I haven't hid the fact that I'm a survivor of child SA, and it's pretty rough covering it, but having people rally around me, it has been big. Yeah, if you drink enough. In fact, trick I used to use in the Navy was I would prime myself with good beer before going to cheap beer. Because they had Natural Light dollar pitcher. And so I would drink, Ice House was my beer of choice at the time. And I would drink an Ice House to kind of get my, taste buds ready. And then I would just buy the pitcher. And they go to hand me a mug. I'm like, it comes in one. And I would literally just drink out of the pitcher. God, I miss those days in the Navy. It was great, too, because the club was literally across the parking lot from my barracks. I would stagger across that parking lot. We would get done with class, because I was going through a training command at the time. We get done with class, go over to what was called the Consolidated Club, small base, Portsmouth Naval Hospital. So everything was in just one place, and everybody drank there. And like I said, I'd get done with class, go over there, start, drink one real beer, then hit the pitchers. I'd do 2 or 3 pitchers a night. Dude, it was $3, man. Jesus. And then stagger home and just do it again the next day. I felt like shit the next day, but then I go and drink another beer, a whole bunch of beers. Oh, well, thank you for your support, sir. For the record, I'm always feeling really awkward about, my service, because I get out, in 1996. So well before 9/11. But, I do appreciate the thank you. So thank you. But yeah, we would say, good buddy of mine, guy named Carl. He and I are still friends, for the record. But we would get shit faced and stumble back, to the barracks and just back and forth night after night. I feel like crap, but then I'll hit a beer and now I feel great. I understand how alcoholism happens. And considering the way I just said alcoholism, you'd think I was drunker than I am. Oh. So what do we got? What else is trending on Twitter here? Let's see. Jesus Christ, Kilmar Garcia is still trending? What's he trending about now? Oh, he's coming back to the United States. Oh, joy. Let's see. Hey, Otter, appreciate you sharing the stream on Twitter, man. Huge. Much appreciated. Let's see. What we got here? Oh, yeah, where I posted about. So if you guys aren't on Twitter, I posted this earlier. True story. Got this phone call. Some Indian dude. He's like, yeah, this is Agent, what's his nuts, with the FDIC. Is this Tom Knighton? Now, I, an intellectual, Realize the FDIC doesn't call you up, and as far as I'm aware, they don't have anyone called agent. So I'm like, let's get ready to have some fun. He's like, like, sure. We are calling you in response to an investigation. Your identity has been used in conjunction with fraud and money laundering operations in New Mexico. Do you know anything about these allegations? Sure. What do you know about them? Well, I was money laundering and committing fraud in New Mexico. In my defense, though, I was bored. Fucker clicked on, hung up on me. The nerve! I did sign up, and unlike a lot of my peers at the time, I was fully aware of the possibility of going off foreign land and dying. I was the son of a Vietnam Navy vet, so it was always something that was in my mind. While I was going through Corps school was when Black Hawk Down happened. We actually had a rumor go around after that all of our, right? How dare he hang up? I could have fucked with him for hours. Anyways, back to my story. We started hearing a rumor we were going to get deployed. Class ahead of us and the class behind us were both hearing this rumor, which meant there was a really good chance we were. Any additional schooling was going to get canceled. All male students were going to go through Field Medical Service School, which is the training you go through as a corpsman to serve with a Marine unit. And, we started asking questions, and then our instructors came in one day. He's like, I'm not going to say it's not true. I'm not going to say it's not true for you. Now, understand, when that word came out of their mouths, this was just after seeing Gary Gordon and Randy Shutter dragged through the streets naked. And that they had died defending a downed helicopter pilot, and that a number of Army Rangers had been killed, and, numerous others injured. And I can take deaths and injury as part of war. Dragging two American servicemen through the streets naked, they're dragging their bodies through the streets, that ain't war. That's barbarism. And so when they said, I'm not going to say it's not true for you, I just looked down and I thought, good. I wanted some. Now, it turned out we weren't going anywhere. This was kind of an exercise to remind us we had joined the United States Armed Forces, and this is something that we could find ourselves doing. Most of the guys in my class were like, whew. I was not. My name on X, I'm the Tom Knighton on X. I'm not really on Instagram. I'll put the X on there. That's what I use on X. I've got Instagram. I am never fucking on it. It's not my jam. But yeah, that was like kind of a wake up call for a lot of us. The funny thing is, one of the guys in my class, he was actually my bunkmate in boot camp. He ended up, best I can tell, he did 20 years. He was he became a Raider corpsman. He was with MARSOC. And so, yeah, he was probably, here he was, one of the ones I'm pretty sure was like, whew. And then he saw a lot more shit than any of us. Donnie, I know you're still running around. Here's to you, brother. Last I saw, he was a senior chief, so E8. I remember him in boot camp. Oh, what else we got on X? Hey, wait. All right, 4 more followers. I hit 3,200. Awesome. Let's see. See if we can get some shit going here. Oh. Okay. Trying to gen up a little more, few more folks. Oh, appreciate it, SGA. Much appreciated, brother. I really should upload videos up to Rumble. I just never got any freaking traffic. What can you do? But yeah, I appreciate the follow, man. Oh. So what else we got? It's a wild, wild world out there, and I want to make fun of all of it. Oh, hold on a second here. Got to share this one with you. For those of you who are not on for those of you who aren't on X, you got to see this one. Saw this and it made me think of Habitual Line Crosser. Because he's always making fun of how of the stealth capabilities of like China and Russia, or as he puts it, West Taiwan and Slavic Special Ed. And I think this is actually a pretty good, visual of it. So I tagged him on it, and yeah, he agreed. That's awesome. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it's doing studio and choose Premiere, so it streams live. Okay, all right. That good tip. Good tip. All right, so that's how that works. Hey, I learned something. Awesome. All right. Oh yeah. All right, Sarah, I'll definitely let you know. And yeah, HLC shit is hilarious. I fucking love that. When I found out he was that he was, knew those guys at the unsub, man. Oh, dude, that was like fucking heaven, man. Because it's like, Jesus Christ, all my favorite creators are like buddies. You know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry. Getting myself a little more comfortable here because I've been sitting for an hour. Yeah, I appreciate that. I figured out that part by accident, but hey, that's everything I know about tech. I did from fucking around with shit until I fixed till I broke it, and then went from there. Um, you know, so got to figure out a couple more things. One thing I'm trying to do is be able to look at stuff on my screen with like the little window off to the corner. Not sure how to do that. That might be an OBS thing. Do you know, Otter? But I mean, it's not super difficult. It's a little, for the most part, it's pretty intuitive. It actually is easier than EV Mux, which is what I had been using for like interviews, except for what I got at the NRA annual meeting. Those are let's see, what I'm describing is if you go to like Asmongold's clips or stream or Tectone's stream, there's like a little box with their camera off to like a corner or side. They can move it wherever they need it, but then they can watch stuff on their stream and react to it that way. Now I'll figure it out. nothing else, I can always, play around. Oh, you getting what I'm saying? All right. Okay. I'm hold on. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, okay, sir. Let me find you real quick here. Let's see. How do you find somebody? God damn it. I write for a fucking living. And I can't type. All right, Sarah, I just sent you one. The screen at the bottom. You mean the start screen share? Because I do that, and that's where I get like this, but I don't. That doesn't actually put the screen on there. Maybe it's maybe this is it. You worked in radio and couldn't talk. That's fair. That's fair. Um, I usually do okay. Of course, then again, I usually don't have, bourbon in me. Actually, I have. I've actually written a couple of books entirely, drunk. Not really drunk, just with some Hemingway like inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Uh, okay, so duo, and then this. Let's try this one real quick. Um, okay, that didn't quite work. Let's see. Let's try presentation. Okay, presentation. That we're talking about. Okay, JD, what's going on, man? Appreciate you joining us today. Let's see. That doesn't seem to show it there either. Oh, I'll figure it out. It is probably a loose screw somewhere between the keyboard and the chair. Um, I'll figure it out. Not vital. I'm not actually have any. I don't have anything to actually react to right now. But I definitely want to do that going forward because nobody should be forced to look at my face for 3 hours. My wife doesn't even want to look at my face for 3 hours, and she's like obligated. What do we got here? Oh, Jesus Christ. I love my wife, but damn, if I'm not careful, she will send me some shit. I will get like 15 messages. Hey, Joel, my brother. What's going on, man? For the record, Joel here is a longtime friend, long before I had any channels. So, yeah. JD, I appreciate your support, man. You've become a big part of my community very quickly. Much appreciated. You and everybody else here, man. This has just been freaking amazing. I literally expected this first stream to be me. Wait, I had it? That was working? So you're seeing me on here and Amazon, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, yeah, I see it now. I see it. Holy shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, now I see what's going on here. All right, so all right, I don't actually know how to move the screen, but that's fine. That's fine. I can work with this. I can work with this shit. Oh yeah. All right. JD, you run your mouth a bunch, but so do I, and I get paid for it. So, awesome. Um, appreciate your help on that, guys. All of y'all. Big help, Otter, especially. Dude, you're the man. Much appreciated. And now I know how to do that. That's right. Y'all tuned in for my sick dance moves, didn't you? Yeah, I know all those yeses are not related to that. And it's fine. It is totally fine. Oh, man. I am having so much fun doing this shit. That is awesome. Hold on. I need to turn a fan on. It's fucking hot. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, it's funny. I bought a fan working on it. Hey, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I bought a fan that had a remote control going, great. I bought a heater with a remote control. I'm like, yeah, great. Guess what? They're on the same fucking frequency. I turn one on, I get both. And this is why I drink, folks. This is why I drink. Oh man, this is so freaking amazing. Said I genuinely genuinely thought I'd be all by my lonesome on this, and it would just be really awkward as shit. And I had all kinds of plans in place for how I would do. Or I say plans; they really weren't planned out. But idea what I'd do if it was just me, just little old me, and yeah, it's actually pretty freaking dope. That's pretty freaking cool here. Let's see what we get. Awesome. I'm over the moon, guys. Yes, I'm excited about 9 viewers. I don't care, man. I'm having fun. I'm interacting with cool people, having a nice drink. Um, you know, yeah, it's just this is actually a lot more fun than you know, Sarah, Matt. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate y'all having my back. I'm 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 having fun with it, and it's I did not legitimately. I didn't expect it to be this fun. You know, am I into the Blantons yet? Yeah, I've had a little. Not tonight. I'm not into it tonight. I'm looking for a little higher proof. Um, but I might go. I might do a little bit of the Blantons next time. Um, it's good stuff. It's just it's 80 proof, and I've gotten when I first got into bourbon and when I first got that bottle, 80 proof was about all I could handle. Um, and now I've gotten where I can handle a lot more. 9 views more than you have. Fair enough. Fair enough. But for uh, text banners, yeah, that could be cool. I might have to figure that out. That'd be kind of awesome. Especially because I control people. I can have a field day doing that shit, not without even being serious. Proud moms. Hey, proud moms are awesome. Proud moms are awesome. I miss mine. I think she'd be absolutely ecstatic for what I've been doing the last few years. She really supported me. Disagree with me on politics just about across the board, but she was so fucking supportive of everything I did that I think she would be like giddy seeing where things are going and how bright the future looks. It took me 50 years to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. But let's see. Let's go back to Twitter, see what we've got here. Comment on my story for the call. Somebody's like, well, sure, because they have these big laundromats in New Mexico. I thought some of the paper money was looking a bit peaky, so, but I don't recommend it because some of them got torn up in the dryer. That was a good one. I like that. God damn it. I'm a fucking writer who can't freaking write. I'd like to blame the alcohol, but it's this desk I bought. I had a standing desk that I never fucking used for standing. And I accidentally ripped off the control anyway, so it was hanging down by my knees, slapping. It was awkward. So I bought a new desk. Looked at some, found some that looked cool. You know, sent it to my wife, and she's like, I really like this one. So that's the one I got. And I built the thing, got the thing, put it together, and this thing is tall. This thing is so freaking tall. Let me see. Let me find it real quick. And yeah, it's like 33 and a half inches tall. And most desks are like at most 30 inches. That's a pretty high up desk. And this thing's sitting up here. So I'm like writing like this. Matt, okay, look, I play with swords for fun. I'm not going to judge you playing with fire trucks. Hey, appreciate it, man. That is huge. Go forth and troll gun grabbies and kami mamis. I will definitely do that because, you know, that's because you're autistic. Matt, you are not alone in that one. All right. But yeah, Otter, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's huge. I really do appreciate that. That alone made the stream worthwhile financially. When my wife asked me, "Did you make any money?" Matter of fact, I did. I made an infinitely more than I made live streaming yesterday. She will probably have it spent. Gotta share this one, you know. Look, man, fire trucks are cool. All right, I'm a cop's son, and when I got out of the Navy, I wanted to be a firefighter. I see what a lot of people don't realize about the Navy is that, you know, how they say every Marine's a rifleman, every sailor's a fireman, every sailor's a firefighter. We have a week. We're not like great at it, but we have a full week in boot camp of just firefighter training. It is not comprehensive. When you get to a ship, they give you a lot more firefighter training, but it was the coolest freaking week, man. You know, we're putting out just about every kind of class of fire except I don't remember what the metal fires are, but you know, we didn't do those. But we spent a week putting out fires and shit. I'm like, dude, this is dope. This is so cool. And when I was about to get out, I'm like, hey, Dad, you know anybody at the fire department? Didn't work out, but that's all right. That's all right. I ended up exactly where I needed to be. Trolling gun grabbies and kami mamis. Is it wrong that kami mami sounds a little hot? Navy during Korea. My dad was Vietnam, and I was immediately post Gulf War. Firefighter and a medic. Dude, much respect. That is some hard work. You see some terrible shit in that line of work. So, Matt, thank you for your service, brother. Seriously. First responders, military, we are twisted souls. And it's because if we're not, we will likely stab somebody. Now, I like I said, I grew up. My dad was a police officer, so I know what the first responder life is like, and what it's like for the families. So, Sarah, also props to you. Um, oh, what else we got here? So the different stealth, somebody retweeted that and was like, the real question is, how pissed will they be when an Apache gets an Su-57? That will be fucking hilarious. HLC will absolutely lose his shit. Oh, dude. ADHD and OCD. That's a weird combination in my mind, but you know, hey, if it works. But as a dispatcher, awesome, awesome. Uh, actually, my first fiance is a dispatcher, and when I say first fiance, we were engaged when we were 3, so you know, obviously, no ill will. Um, so yeah, you know, absolutely respect that. That's not an easy job either. You know, a lot of people don't realize that dispatchers, man, it's very frustrating. It's very difficult to hear horrible things going on and just be able to send help. I don't know that I could do it. So much respect. Yes, we are twisted. Dark humor is, you know, yeah, freedom otter. Waves to the YouTube peeps. Yeah, I got to do this shit just so we, you know, cross platform communication. Um, you know, it kind of does. It kind of fucking does. It's like it's China, but it's Billy Madison doing China. Okay, that's what it is. It's Billy Madison doing China. Um, holy shit, that's fucking funny. That's hilarious, dude. I love his characters though, man. Yeah, yeah. Sarah agrees with you. Um, shit. Okay, hold on. Jesus, sorry. I'm still getting the hang of this shit. Doing pretty good on my first stream. Um, but yeah, it's like Billy Madison doing China. I love it when Grandpa Buff switches the maps so it says West Taiwan. I fucking love that shit. I want him to leave it. I want him to just leave it like he did with Gulf of America, man. That is the shit right there. That is fucking amazing. Um, let's see. Um, oh, what do I got? My wife's sending me litter boxes. Jesus Christ. Let's see, Lynn. You were a nurse before. It was hard going from actively helping to only being able to send the help. Yeah. Um, that's legit. I was a Navy corpsman, worked on a floor as a essentially as a nurse. I was operating between an LPN and an RN. So I can only imagine. Um, need more liquor. Don't mind if I do. Um, Jesus Christ, there was a lot in here, and it's a lot less now. My wife's gonna love this shit. Babe, you're not watching, are you? No. Okay, good. Ah, thank God I still have alcohol tolerance. Yeah, because I'm not even buzzing yet. I'm close. Close. Um. Oh man. So, who all here? Since almost all of y'all are, like unsub fans, who all here is on Pepperbox? That's what I want to know. Who is on Pepperbox? I'm not going to be a lie. I'm not going to lie. I actually want to, you know, become like the first political commentary channel to make it on Pepperbox. Um, bad influence, you know, you might be, but you got to remember, JD, I'm a good example of a bad example. So I don't know that you can be a bad influence on me. I'm a bad influence on humanity. Not yet. Okay, that's legit. Okay, JD is. Sarah is. Awesome. Um, of course, Otter's been following me since before the Buffalo shit. So, him not actually being on Pepperbox as of yet is not overly shocking at this point. Um, but JD, Sarah, I kind of expected y'all would be. Um, did anyone else get like HLC's video from like 3 days ago? Landy, you and your hubby? Okay. Did y'all get the like a notification for HLC's video from like 3 days ago, like today or last night or something? Because I woke up, that was there, and it was like a 3 day old video, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I still watched the video. I didn't give a shit. Um, but yeah, it was it was interesting. When it was his last day. Oh, what, last day in the army? Was that what that was? Dude, I didn't realize that was his last day. Holy shit. Um, if so, that's freaking cool as shit, man. Um, let me see something here. Well, it's the one that was HLC versus Ritter. That's what the actual video was. Um, but yeah, that was his last day. That's pretty cool. Oh, you got it the day of, man? Yeah, that's okay. Well, I'm glad somebody did. Matt uses yours. Fair enough. There's really no point in two people in the household having subscriptions there. Um, did he say it was his birthday? I honest to God don't remember. I watched it this morning. So, and God knows I've written a bunch of shit since then, so my brain's kind of mush in that regard. Uh, but yeah, it probably was because um, okay, that was a different thing. Okay, yeah, actually, I do remember. I think it was the video before that was his birthday. Um, yeah, that was June. That was June 4th. Ah, shit, I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. I just got this. It was weird because it was not a new video, like super new, but I just got it like today. So whatever. I watch it when they tell me to watch it. I watch it. I'm a lemming. Uh, no, I support the guys. I was like, I don't love everything that's on Pepperbox. Um, they got some creators that they're not my thing. But what I love is the fact that they're having so many different creators. It's like obviously it was the core group. But they've got, you know, Millennial Farmer. He's like the most you know, it doesn't really fit in a way. It was like the oh god, who are those guys? Um, yeah, you know, not my kind of content, but it's incredible they're really building something there. Um, and it's extremely cool that they put it in a position where if YouTube looks at them tomorrow and goes, you know what, fuck all of y'all are gone. They don't have to give a shit. I mean, they don't. Now, yeah, I can cook. I can, do Rumble, but there's a problem with Rumble, and that's really that the traffic is not going to be the same. Um, let's see, PBG. Watch Dalton on PBG. Um, Which one's PBG? Um, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool you're getting something out of it. Um, yeah, content you could watch for hours. It's there's some creators I've been watching extensively lately, in part because they cover the rise and fall of different YouTubers, and I'm like looking at it going, okay, maybe I can learn something important. So far, it's don't fuck with kids. Like I needed lessons for that. Seriously. Oh, JD's going live in 30 minutes. Yeah, you guys were. If you guys haven't noticed, he was supposed to go. He thought he was going to went to jail. Like he actually did a video about how he was going to jail. He had a bunch of stuff backlogged. I mean, he was going to do the time. It was shit he owed from back before he cleaned up and everything. But he was ready to do it. And he gets there, and the judge or the prosecutor looks at all of his. He had a bunch of character references, including from Angry Cops and like Chris Hansen even, and a bunch of other guys. And they just look at this is nothing but a waste of time, man. There's no reason for him to go to jail. Let's give him community service. JD loves doing community service. So, it was like, throw me in the briar patch. So he's a free man, and I love it. That was fucking amazing. That was cool. The fact that Rich, wrote a letter. Another reason I absolutely love that guy. Yeah, do not fuck with kids and do not touch our boats. Yeah, I mean, those are rules to live by. I mean, honest to God, you avoid those two things, I think you're pretty much set for life, aren't you? Yeah, it's amazing how many people in the YouTube sphere fall apart because they start messing with underage people. Like they're not like children. They're not like usually doing like 8 or 9 year olds or anything. Um, but they're still teenagers. And even if it's like the age of consent here in Georgia is 16, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, Sarah, I truth be told, man, I won't say I teared up, but it was this just amazing feeling seeing a guy who has improved his life. Um, uh, okay, Landy, go take care of the mom stuff. Appreciate you joining me. Awesome having you here. And if we're still here, pop on over. But no, Sarah, it was great. It literally made my day a good day. Putting it bluntly. It was, exactly, the kind of thing I love to see. And I had major respect for him going, I don't want to go back to jail, but I owe this time. I'm going to do what I got to do and take care of business because this is part of accountability. That's that's a man. All right. When you talk about someone being a man, a lot of people are, a lot of guys try to spend their time trying to get out of shit, even when they know they should do it. And there's times that includes myself. It's never anything like that. But like JD said in his video today, man, it's like he's not the same guy, but he was still going to do that time without question. And he was all he was really hoping was like 30 to 90 days. That was his optimistic, take. And he came home, and it was great seeing actual justice, right? Because that's what it was. Nobody is served by JD DeLay going back to jail. It's not. Nobody is served by that. But now he's home with his wife, his dogs. He's able to create content. Lord knows, apparently, sounds like he doesn't need to for a while. And if he's going live, awesome. Um, this one's to JD. I know he doesn't, he's clean, but I'm not, so I'll pick up his slack. It's kind of funny when the Buffalo thing was going on. JD did a video, and of course, I had done videos, and we all know where Rich stood. And I was like, when you got an ex-con like JD, a cop like Rich, and me, a journalist, all on the same page, someone needs to wake the hell up and realize maybe, just maybe, Buffalo Public Schools fucked up. I stand by that. Absolutely love JD. Much respect for him. The unsub episode with him was great. It's the first time I'd actually been exposed to him, but man, he earned my respect, especially talking about beating pedos into wood chippers. All right, Otter. Otter's got to bail. He's got to get ready for his show at 9:00. So when we wrap up here, if you're still here, head over to Rumble, see his, watch his show. He'll probably, historically he reads some of my shit. So, you might get a little bit of me even if I'm not there. But yeah, go check that out. Otter, have a good one, brother. Okay. Got Rumble too. Nice. Yes. Take over all of the sites. It's kind of funny. I'm actually literally the only one I don't have any traffic on is the one I don't get paid on. I can't make no money from Kick, and nobody's on there. That's fucking funny. So yeah, okay, that's awesome. Got people coming in and out. That's a great thing about a live stream is you could do that. I absolutely love it. Oh God. Yeah, what we got here? What do we got? Let's find some shit to stir up. Let's see. Oh yeah. So June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? We're in June. Now it's also Pride Month, but overlapping awareness months are not uncommon. We only have 12 months and we have to be aware of like 8,000 things. So some people are obviously making a thing out of Pride. Whatever. I don't give a shit. No way I'm going to kick. You know what? Whatever, man. I'm down with it. Oh yeah. If you end up in JD's live, man, I have no shame in my game. I'll plug you. But, hey, man, pimp me everywhere you go. I'm starting to. Some of these guys are starting to kind of know who I am a little bit, just a smidge. Not all of them. I don't know that JD knows who I am, but I have much respect for the man. Anyone who cleans up their life. That's not easy. It's really not. Paulette Woods scream cussing again. Well, how much wine is involved? That's what we all need to know, right? How much wine? Don't tell me it's cranberry juice or grape juice or anything. Nobody drinks grape juice out of wine glasses and then yells for people to shut the fuck up. Just doesn't happen, man. Does not fucking happen. But you get liquored up somehow, it's a little more likely to happen. I just absolutely do love the fact that burping with White Claws was absolutely foul, but drinking wine and yelling for a speaker to shut the fuck up and hoisting the middle finger in a gesture that was clearly intended as friendship, not absolutely foul. What you gonna do? Yeah, cranberry juice. Jesus Christ. She actually thought people would buy that shit. And I do love the clip of her pastor going, well, she's apologized. This is a digital lynching. Shut the fuck up. Okay? People were lynched for supposedly looking at a white person the wrong way, not for getting drunk while performing public duties and hoisting the middle finger and yelling for someone to shut the fuck up, and they faced only criticism. All right, there's a big difference between, hey, I don't think you should do this, and let's string you up to a tree. God, I'm from the South. I live in the South. You know, what are my thoughts on the parody accounts for Ed Dranch and the Buffalo Public Schools? I laugh my ass off at them. They're clearly marked parody. Nobody thinks they're actually Ed or BPS. So I think it's funny as shit. I'm not sure exactly who it is. I kind of had an idea. But he's making fun of people I think need to be made fun of. So salute. I love the some of the parody accounts. It's when they forget that they're supposed to be funny, and they forget they're supposed to be funny, and so they start taking partisan stances and things that are in a more serious tone. All right, that's when I start getting bothered by parody accounts. There's a one that's called Darth Putin, and okay, he gets very biased in a way, but that fits, right? It's clearly fits where he what he's at, so I don't mind that one too much. But some of the others, yeah. There was one when Sean Spicer was Speaker of the House. There was Sean Spicier, and it was a parody account. But the dude has lost the parody, and he just kind of uses that as a main account now, and it's not as funny, and I kind of hate that. As long as the Ed Dranch and the BPS accounts do that, I'm going to be a fan. Especially because when they respond to me, it's usually mocking who they represent. So I'm definitely down with that. They deserve to be made fun of. Ed is probably the most redeemable of the two. I do think he completely fucked up how he was trying to say things, but he I think he was trying to say that he didn't want to take it seriously, because it was a very informal setting, but then, because of who Rich is, what his standing is, his social media presence, he started taking it seriously, but he fucked it up so badly and does not have the self-awareness to go, you know what? I completely that what I said was not what was in my head. That's not what I meant. I can respect that. He won't do it. And so if he would do that, or at least just do his job regularly, I think he could be redeemed. But he's still going to get made fun of because this is the internet, and the internet's forever, and I'm down with it. Because let's face it, he deserved it. On a completely different note, have you guys heard about the Dr. Squatch doing bath soap with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater? It's a real thing. They're made like 5,000 bars, and it's got like some of her bathwater in it. And of course, the idea is that, some guy is going to be using this soap on his body, this bathwater that was up next to Sydney Sweeney. And I'm like sitting here going, this is like freaking retarded. Don't get me wrong. Sydney Sweeney got some stuff going on. She's got assets, and they are very nice assets. But on the same token, this bathwater, we don't know if it was actually bathwater or not. You know, how are you ever gonna prove that? But they're not selling it. It's a giveaway, so I guess it's maybe a smidge better. I wished Sydney would not have done that. I don't think that's good for her career. But a friend of mine shared something. It's like, got the dude from Mad Men, and it's like bathwater soap, but it's from Stacey Abrams. My wife just came in the office to grab something. She heard that. She's like, ugh. That was freaking amazing. Yes, it is. She was like, it's gross. Yes, it is. Let's see. You're supposed to drink her bathwater, not wash with it. At least that's how the saying goes. I could at least understand this. Yeah. Right. It's used bathwater. I don't get it. Sydney Sweeney's attractive, but if I'm gonna like use goes that disgusting, it better have been Kate Beckinsale's bathwater. I'm just saying. Even then, I ain't tripping over myself to get it. Because yeah, it's that just. Is there enough soap compound in the soap to nullify the nasty of bathwater? I mean, because let's be honest, I don't know where Sydney Sweeney's been. I know where she hasn't been. She hasn't been in my house. This is something my son at 24 absolutely laments. But she hasn't been in my house. Other than that, she could have been anywhere. And I don't know. Probably smells like bacon grease and despair. And taxpayer money. It would also smell like taxpayer money. Let's not forget that. Remember, she's the one who started a nonprofit, had $200 in the bank, and got a $2 billion grant from Grandpa Joe. Yeah, nothing shady about that at all. No. I swear to God, we're a kleptocracy. Like, a bunch of funny people were like bitching about, Elon Musk has government contracts. Oh, you shouldn't be helping Trump. Biden supporters were handed billions of dollars with no track record at all. Give me $2 billion. I'll at least admit I'm going to waste it. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't keep a decent balance in my banking account. Give me $2 billion. I'll at least have fun. But I'll be honest with you about what I'm going to fuck around with it on, Jesus Christ. Yeah, being a Georgian, though, a buddy of mine sends me all the Stacey Abrams shit he comes across. Like, he's on Twitter. He follows a lot of, right-leaning accounts, but he's really just more into the comic thing, and he doesn't want to, like, burn bridges. So he just kind of, he'll like him, but he won't retweet him. He won't engage in politics. Instead, he sends that shit to me, knowing I have no problem posting that shit everywhere. That's my brand, man. That's my brand. And honest to God, I do not have enough bourbon here to possibly consider Stacey Abrams' bathwater with anything short of my gag reflex. It's funny how many people were like talking about her as a possible like vice presidential candidate or possibly even a presidential candidate. And I'm like, she got her ass kicked in Georgia twice. Right? And Georgia's been leaning purple. She got her ass kicked the second time worse than the first. And the first is the one she was trying to make a big claim about, Well, Kemp, as Secretary of State, took all these names off the voter rolls. Yeah, they were all fucking like dead people or felons and shit. You know, Jesus Christ, woman. The fucking Atlanta Constitution looked into it and they're like, yeah, all these people either moved or dead or felons. And the Atlanta Journal Constitution is not a conservative paper. But no, she had to act like it was a stolen election. And if she had kept her mouth shut with Trump, I probably wouldn't loathe her quite like I do. Right? Because when Trump, after the 2020 election, was saying it was stolen, she was just like the others going, oh, it's not. I'm like, bitch, you still haven't conceded the 2018 election. She did finally concede in 2022, but that's because she got her ass kicked so bad. It kind of didn't matter. Um, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Somebody, that the thing about the call, I got a spam, like, no need to panic. You know, no one likes being scammed. And I'm like, that's how I know you're a fucking spam bot. I don't report people in general on X very much, but when dumbasses, try to like scam me, I definitely do. On a lighter note, did you see how much the unsubscribed guys raised for autism charities? Yes, Jesus Christ, what, 235 grand? Um, and honest to God, I am like super stoked about that. Uh, a couple of months ago, my daughter was diagnosed with autism, and I was a little better prepared for it because of the guys raising money for autism charities, and Eli talking about riding and things like that. And so I was very, I've got their back on everything. That was the first thing I thought I would have their back on, but now it is, autism. Now it's the Buffalo, but I still got their back on the autism shit. And man, they raise a shit ton. Every one of those charities is going to get a big fat check from somebody who doesn't want anything except to do some good. You know, it's funny how these guys get portrayed by the left as evil, vile people. But iDubbbz, who used to be pretty cool, but then, finally got laid, but he got laid by a lefty chick, and suddenly he's extreme lefty. He can't even manage to pull off a charity boxing match without trying to get 34% of the gate, or 34% of the revenue for his company, with the rest going to charity. And he's supposed to be the good person. These guys, who they like to shit on, raised $235,000 for autism charities, handed it over, and went, I want nothing. Now we know why I support those guys instead of people like iDubbbz, Anissa, Hassan Piker, and those fucknuts. Yes, I know you said on the lighter note, but leave it to me to get serious. But yes, that was incredibly cool of them. That's an insane amount. It's like last year was what, 150,000, something like that. It was a lot of money. It was a shit ton of money for a podcast to raise, and they topped it. And I firmly believe within the next 5 years, they are going to be handing over a check with 7 figures. I honestly believe that, because Unsub is growing, and their platforms as individuals are also still growing. Eli's, show, Say Hi to Eli, is growing like freaking weeds. I'm jealous as shit. But all of that growth is going to, obviously he's going to hit a point where it slows down, but they're still growing as individual creators. And that audience comes to Pepperbox, to Unsub on YouTube, to the overlap gets other people there. And they're going to absolutely hit that 7-figure mark. I think within the next 5 years, and that's my pessimistic view. I would not be surprised for them to hit it within 2 to 3 years. Nice. I didn't consider the shoes just because I'm kind of picky about shoes. The shirts were awesome. I'm still favor of the my favorite's still the Full Spectrum gunship. Just fucking love that, man. It makes me laugh. I actually wanted to get that shirt to wear around my daughter when she was first diagnosed. She did not. She didn't take the diagnosis well. She was really, she didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to consider it. She was just not happy about it, etc. And I thought something like that would probably help. Luckily, something happened, kind of got her over that hump before then, thankfully. But those are some cool shirts. Their shirts are always awesome. I absolutely love, what the hell? Okay, so there is actually a comment from Kick, and it's like somebody's like, Ghost Town in your chat, not on our watch. Power up your stream with Dogehype.com. I don't actually know who the fuck these people are. That just screams spam to me. I fucking hate spammers. What's really great is when I go to my my message requests, because see, like, I do not, or for the longest time, I did not have my DMs open, right? My DMs were closed because I didn't want, I didn't want spammers, right? I wanted actual people. When people wanted to hit me up, cool. But I opened it up because of Buffalo. I wanted people to be able to reach out. Haven't had a lot of people reaching out that way, but some people have. And yet, it was, I get so much fucking spam. And it's not even intelligent spam. Yeah, random hot girl wants to talk to me. Guys, I'm 51 years old and fat. Ain't no 20-something-year-old hottie wanting to talk to me unless this is separating my money from me. Let's see. Nonverbal, thought she was deaf until the diagnosis. I can totally get that. If somebody's not verbal, and I know a lot of times with autistic, they're not responsive either. So yeah, deaf actually, sounds like something that, you would think. Luckily my daughter is not that bad. There's 3 levels, with level 3 being the most severe autism. My daughter's a level 1, which is the most mild. She's what we would have called Asperger's back in the day. We didn't realize it. Part of the reason we didn't realize it was a lot of the behavior. My wife's like, this just doesn't seem right. And I was like, no, I totally did that stuff, when I was a kid. So it's fine. Yeah, I'm probably autistic. JD's live chat. Awesome. That is so cool. Hope JD sees it. I would love to get an opportunity to chat with that dude. He is completely cool. Big fan of his stuff. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, that kind of spam, absolutely. Yeah, that stuff's good. I used to eat it all the time. Spammers suck the fun out of everything except fucking with the spammers. You start fucking with them, if you can get that going, that can be entertaining. But otherwise, yeah, they're just, it's a waste. What I really love is I've been getting a lot of them that are like, we have 20 openings in this investment opportunity. Okay, if it's that exclusive and that great an investment, why are you hitting up some random dude on Twitter who has tweeted about how he's fucking broke? It's, I think what bugs me the most is that it's not that they're trying to scam me. It is that they're so fucking bad at it. Right? It's like if you put some effort and you almost get me, I can respect the hustle. You get me good, I can respect it. I still want you to go to prison, but I at least respect that you got the better of me. When it's absolutely, idiotic like that, no respect, man. You don't deserve to get anything. The fact that they do, and they wouldn't do this if they weren't making money, but the fact that anybody falls for it is the most troubling thing. And it's why I'm not entirely sure we're going to make it as a species. Oldest granddaughter is autistic and she's only a year and a half. Oh, man. My daughter was diagnosed at 13. So I don't know which is better. On the one hand, when you know up front, you can plan ahead. You can start with the treatment early. You can start with the therapies early. You know what you're getting into, etc. We didn't know until she was a teenager. That was fun. Of course, she's also ADHD. And the most ADHD moment happened when she was diagnosed, guys. We're sitting there, she'd been evaluated. We're sitting in there and we're going over with the therapist the results of this. And they give, me a copy, my wife a copy, and give Audrey a copy. And, the therapist goes through and it's like, Audrey, do you have any questions? No. And, there's like, she pointed out that, there was a misspelling. That's fair. That's fair. JD's better at this shit than I am. But yeah, if you post stuff up there enough that, don't get banned, don't catch a spam ban. But, if you can, who knows, man, maybe I can pick up a sub that way. But you have fun. Y'all have a good one there, Sarah. Appreciate you being here. That was a big help. Helped me get through the first part. But anyways, Audrey's going, she's got this thing and we've gone over it. And we've gone over this whole thing talking about how she's autistic and this is the different things that show she's autistic and she's ADHD and this is all the stuff. And we get done and we've got the papers and we're about to leave. And it comes up, it's like, and the therapist is like, and really autism is something that can, be very good for, can be a powerful tool if you learn how to use it. And she just looks at me and goes, wait, I'm autistic? The most ADHD shit I have ever seen in my life. And as somebody with profound ADHD, that was saying something, man. That was saying something. She absolutely lived up to the stereotype. She'd been reading with us the whole time, we thought. She didn't realize she was autistic. Yeah, but she's getting therapy now for it, to kind of be more adaptable and everything. And it's going to work out fine. Oh man, we are at the 2 hour and 4 minute mark. That's actually pretty dope. I thought 3 hours is going to be probably a little much. But I can kind of see it. Yeah, I can do this. I think I can do this. You guys have made it easy. For the record, guys, you guys have made it easy. So thank you. This has been a lot smoother than I thought it would be. Um, you know, so this is totally cool. Oh, what do we got? Let's find some shit to stir up. Um, what do we got? We're gonna go back to the trending tab on Twitter because it's got some weird shit here. Uh, I don't know who any of this shit is. Stranger than Hip. Oh, it's gaming. I don't game. Bueller. It says sports trending, but Bueller. Oh yeah, that's right. It's the 40th anniversary of Ferris Bueller. No, the Yankees signed Walter Bueller. Um, no, it should be Ferris Bueller. Fuck all that. Ferris Bueller. Say Ferris. Say Ferris. Um, man, I loved that movie when I was a kid. It was funny. When I was younger, I liked Ferris Bueller better than Breakfast Club. Now I like Breakfast Club better than Ferris Bueller. Because I've probably identified more with Principal Rooney at this point. Um, you know, but you know how it goes. Let's see, murder map. Just how bloody was medieval England? A murder map holds some surprises. University of Cambridge project reveals high homicide rates. Hold on a second. We're going to do some shit here. Now that I know what I'm doing on some of this, we're going to do some start screen share. Holy shit. Jetty says he's old. And he watched Breakfast Club the other day. It's a great damn movie. That movie holds up so well. The only person who looks out of place is Claire, Molly Ringwald's character, because she's so cutting edge fashiony, and it's the 1980s, so none of that shit looks right. Everybody else looks like they could be in high school right fucking now. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this shit here. Yes, Washington Post is a murder map. This is just kind of neat. But yeah, it's a University of Cambridge project reveals sky high homicide rates in medieval London, York, and Oxford, and shows that male college students were among the most frequent killers. So all of these marks are apparently murders. There's a saddle maker ambushed outside a brew house. A man stabbed to death after he stumbled over a heap of dung while trying to flee a fight. Well, shit. And a priest killed by 3 knife-wielding assailants, possibly on the orders of a noblewoman accused of having an affair with him. Each of these attacks took place at the same violent hotspot in medieval London, and they were among more than 350 homicides committed across 3 English cities that have been chronicled in extraordinary detail by a small team of academics and enthusiasts. Using 14th century coroner's rolls and other archival sources, Manuel Eisner, a criminologist at the University of Cambridge, has spent 15 years working on interactive tools he calls murder maps with the help of a team, including his wife and daughter. Each of these stories shines a little spotlight on an event in some corner of London. So nothing's really changed in London. Good to know. Taken together and analyzed in a peer-reviewed paper published Thursday, their findings offer a glimpse into the dark underbelly of medieval life in London, Oxford, and York. They also reveal some trends that may surprise modern readers. Some of the deadliest hotspots were in the most affluent areas, and male college students were among the most frequent killers. The authors also found that slayings tended to cluster in high footfall outdoor areas, and that the majority of killers enjoyed impunity. Yeah, that's because CSI wasn't a thing. So yeah, that was I mean, it's cool, but let's also understand that college was different then. It wasn't like one of those things everyone went to. A lot of those people were not the upper class, but not the lower class. They were in this weird middle area that wasn't truly a middle class. I'm not overly surprised that they were often the killers. They were also probably drunk a lot of the time. So it's interesting. Yes, and 81st anniversary of D-Day. Um, much respect for the men who stormed the beaches. It was Saving Private Ryan was the first glimpse I got of what that might have been like. Um, and it was that was intense, and that's just a fucking movie. I take any intensity from a movie and ramp it up about 11 to 11, and then you almost sort of get close, probably, maybe. But that I think about that, and hold on, what was the death toll? Yeah, 4,414 Allied soldiers. Um, to put it in some perspective, that 4,414 troops killed on D-Day is more than half of the lives lost in GWOT. Okay, wait, that's actually not entirely, because that's the total, and then we had Allied soldiers. Okay, that was roughly a third of the troops killed in GWOT, Allied troops. That was a day. It was freaking D-Day. Holy shit, folks. That was goddamn insane. So war has changed a lot in 81 years. It's wild to me because I remember my grandfather, who was a World War II vet, and I remember, the 40th anniversary of World War II. December 7th, 1981. I remember that. I was 8. We're now looking at the 81st anniversary of D-Day. And dude, it's insane. Yeah, the ice raids in LA. Like, LA is such a fucked up place. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I'm partial to the idea of rescinding California's statehood. Make them a territory so they have no say in federal elections anymore. They can vote in primary presidential elections a little bit, but they don't actually get legislators in Congress, any of that. And the truth is, they are so anti-American. I think I could make the argument. But it's immigration matters, right? I have friends who are immigrants. One of my dear friends is a woman named Sarah Hoyt. She's an author. She's a commentator herself. Some of y'all might know the name from Instapundit. She posts stuff there at night, including a lot of my stuff. A good chunk of the reviews I've gotten through this year have been from Sarah posting over at Instapundit, on top of my Substack stuff. Immigration can do great things for us. It can bring in people who bring so much to America. It's what brought some of my favorite foods to America, which is Italian cooking. It's brought culture. It's done a lot. But for God's sake, come in the country legally. And I'm not going to lose my shit when illegal immigrants get kicked the fuck out. And people who are having, trying to keep ICE, agents from doing their freaking jobs need to be arrested. This is obstruction. They need to be arrested. They need to be prosecuted. They need to be put in prison for it. That's what's going to change it. Right now, the fact that they can do it with impunity is why they're going to keep doing it. I do remember not all that long ago, Trump's first term, you had a guy try to carry out a mass shooting at an ICE facility. The problem is he forgot there are good guys with guns there. And he got lit the fuck up. And too bad there wasn't body cam footage, because I would have loved to have seen Donut Operator break that shit down. I don't know that he didn't, actually. I got to go look and see if that happened. But they're unhinged. They're absolutely unhinged. You know, it's like Tish James defending illegal immigrants and not looking after the kids of fucking Buffalo. That's her job. And she doesn't give a shit. I swear to all that is holy, it is absolutely ridiculous that we're having to deal with this stuff. I'm just telling you, man. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. And at some point, I hate to say it, but there's going to be, you know, there's going to be some shooting. And it ain't going to be ICE shooting these dipshits. I think they're going to come after folks like us. I think they're going to come after, you know, folks like me. You know, they're going to come after people who are vocal. Right now, I don't think I'm there that high on the list. Thankfully, my wife is, you know, relieved by that. But it could happen. I could move up that list as other people are, you know, gone. And I think that's where we're going to get. Unfortunately for them, I'm armed. Luckily, these people are also retarded. So it's also entirely possible they end up shooting themselves. Then again, we've seen 3 anti-Semitic terrorist attacks this year. And 2, you know, only the first one was a complete waste of time. That was the arson at the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. The 2 people who got shot and killed at the museum could have been worse. Bad enough. Boulder, bad enough. Nobody got killed. Yeah, but you know, that's not saying a lot when you burn 12 people. Stay strapped or get clapped. George Washington, probably. It might have been Thomas Jefferson. Could have been a Jefferson quote. Jeez, I gotta stop doing that. For the record, when I click on a comment, like say this one, it actually jumps up to the next comment. It takes that comment and moves it up to the top of my bar. And so if I'm not careful, I click where it was, and that gets another comment. So that's where that's going. First stream, growing pains. We're learning. Hold on. Oh. But yeah, seriously, guys, if you're not carrying, start. Assuming that is a viable option in your home state. If it's not, well, concealed is concealed, and you know what they don't know won't hurt you. I'm kidding. That's not actually what you should do officially. But, you know, on the other hand, watch me lose my monetization first fucking time I go live. That'd be fucking hilarious. Oh shit. Um. Let's see. Anything? No. Okay. Oh fuck. Yeah, nothing's. There's a lot going on. It's just, God, man. I'm just. It's insane the way some of these people are going about shit. Um. And they think this is viable. They think this is actually viable. I don't understand it, man. I mean, I don't. You guys remember the term stochastic terrorism? Um, it was this whole thing that uh, we totally had to take very, very seriously, because if you said something mean, it could trigger someone killing someone else that you never talked about. And yet they'll sit there and do the whole free Palestine shit, and they'll talk about how ICE raids are fucking Gestapo tactics, despite the fact these people are here illegally. Obama deported a shitload of fucking illegal immigrants. Nobody said shit then. But that, they'll do that stuff, and it's not stochastic terrorism when they do it. And I fucking hate double standards so much. Oh dear God, do I hate double standards. And yet, here we are. Oh, well, whatever. It's the left. What do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, guys, seriously. Oh, what do we got? Let's see if we can find someone else to make fun of. Let's see. Let's go back to the Explore tab. Trending. Let's see. I do not want to know why Ingrid is trending on gaming. Kash Patel is trending. Whatever. Let's see. The American Party. Is this the oh yeah, because Musk talking about creating a new party that represents 80% in the middle. The thing is, there are third parties. I get the feeling. I legitimately get the vibe of, hey, this is, the two-party system isn't working for us. Let's create a new party that will. But something I've noticed. All right, JD, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Big thank yous. I cannot tell you how much it means to me to see you here, brother. We'll catch you next time. The problem is third parties have been a thing for decades. Right? I was a member of the Libertarian Party for a while. And you know what we managed to get accomplished despite having been around for 40 years at that point? I think nothing. Absolutely nothing. At that point, when I joined the Libertarian Party, we had one candidate anywhere in the country that had gotten 1 million votes. One. A guy named John Mons. He was here in Georgia. Now, John's a really nice guy. I know him. Used to know him pretty well. But John ran for Public Service Commission in a race that nobody gave a shit about. There was only one other candidate. And he got 1 million votes. He was the first. And managed to do it twice. Because second time, I think he ran for governor. Yeah, I think he was running for governor, managed to get 1 million votes on that one. We didn't have very likable candidates at the time. But, he still came in third. He got more votes than any other candidate, libertarian candidate ever, including for president. And he still couldn't you know, get elected to state office. So I get Musk is talking about, a third party. But I mean, shit, I remember Ross Perot and the Reform Party. Man, that was supposed to be big shit. And who the fuck's heard of the Reform Party lately? I mean, they still exist. They're still around, but it's third party's not the answer. I don't like Democrats as a whole, and Republicans piss me off plenty too. But our system, the way it's currently set up, a third party's not getting anywhere. You got to reform the system for third parties to be able to do anything, and nobody's going to do that. And the way the Constitution is on how the government's structured, that's just not really going to be a thing. So the American Party sounds great. Ross Perot wasn't able to do it, despite being a super popular presidential spoiler candidate. I just don't see this one going anywhere either. And Jesus Christ, those two, I hope it's a bit. I talked about it a little bit before I think anybody was actually on, but I sincerely hope it's a bit, because if it's not, it's really fucking depressing. So, I don't know, man. It is what it is. But these two just need to they need to kiss and make up. And if they do it literally, whatever. But oh fuck. Well, let's see what we got here. Anything funny on Facebook I could share? So my wife had a comment in response to the whole Stacey Abrams thing. She said, "Soap makes me think of Fight Club, where they use fat from liposuction. Yuck." Okay, babe, that's fair. That's fucking fair. So, Jesus Christ. I know it was a joke, but Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm yeah, Stacey Abrams causes that. Whatevs. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. All right. So here's what's going to be going on the channel going forward. We are going to be looking at member only live streams. Those will probably have to be on YouTube, at least until I figure out a way to figure out another avenue for people who don't want to spend money on YouTube. This was obviously a test run. I think it turned out pretty decent. I've gotten some good feedback. So, But you know, it is what it is, and it's a learning experience, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to have a better plan for those. But I'm probably going to do these a little more just because they're fun. I, I know intellectually I'm better off scheduling them, but I don't really know that I want to. you know, I want it to be a, hey, I feel like I'm going to do this today. What the hell? You know? Um, Now, if they start becoming lucrative, yeah, we're definitely going to find a way to do these more often. Um, Fun matters, money matters more. I got a family to feed. You guys don't understand how that is. Uh, but so far, it has gone swimmingly. And again, thank you all for your role in that. Uh, I have, let's see, I've got a video plan for Monday. That's going to be a members only video. That one's going to be taking a look at a USA Today piece, about the Boulder suspect's daughter. Not sure what I'm going to do for Sunday yet, though. I might bump that to Sunday if I can't find anything else, just so I have, something to talk about. But I'm pretty sure I can come up with some shit just the same. Besides, I know what I'm going to do Sunday. There's Buffalo Like story out of Colorado. This was a little this wasn't a cop / influencer. It wasn't the influencer sharing sharing what he knew, but it was a story that broke, and it was, some really kind of sick stuff too. I'm probably going to talk about that Sunday, because it's just another state. We know about Buffalo, New York. I talked about New Jersey earlier this week. I think last week I talked about Texas. Loudoun County, Virginia everyone went nuts about that one. It's the one where the parents were named domestic terrorists. And it was the school covering up a sexual assault against a student. It wasn't even a trans thing. It was literally a kid, who wasn't even trans. Go figure. But still sexual assault. And they tried to cover it up. And then we got this one in Colorado. And I'm pretty sure if I look in every other state, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find them because it's just not that fucking hard. Right? I found 2 examples in New Jersey, and they were just 2024. I didn't go full fat electrician on this shit. So we're going to have some fun with that shit too. Because my goal is to help people understand that what Rich blew the whistle on was not some anomaly that's just Buffalo. What he blew the whistle on was the tip of an iceberg that is a systemic issue in education. It's not isolated. This is a systemic problem. And the stat I'm just absolutely in love with is the fact that there's a school shooting, and suddenly all the news talks about there's a school shooting. A student who graduates high school is 200% more likely to have experienced sexual misconduct at the hands of a teacher than they are to have experienced a school shooting. And that is treated like nothing but a bunch of isolated incidents that are so fucking isolated they're butting up to each other. My goal is to get someone to wake the fuck up. Wake up. This is a thing. It's a thing. It's a systemic issue, and we should probably consider doing something the fuck about it. We should. And the fact that we haven't, and that Rich, when he brought it up, was attacked. He wasn't just attacked by the school system, which makes sense, right? It's bullshit, but it makes sense. And what I mean is, naturally, they're going to try to defend themselves. But he was attacked by the media, the local media that should have been licking their chops at the story. He was attacked by the school system's attorney who started talking about legal action. He was attacked by the former DA who sat there and legitimately tried to make the case that everything was hunky-dory when he was DA. Who apparently, according to Nick, the fat electrician, works for the same fucking law firm that employs the school system. Yeah, I can't imagine why he would be biased. But he was also the same son of a bitch that tried to subpoena the records for a rape that happened. That the teacher or the administrator went, "Oh, I investigated. I'm not going to respond to this." All we need is one person to hear me, and it be the right person. One well-placed set of eyes and ears who hear about this and decide they need to do something. That's all we need. But barring that, what we need is the unsub army, the angry cops community, which isn't exactly a one-to-one. We need that. We need those people to draw attention to what's going on and to raise a stink whenever they see it, wherever they hear it, and make it so when this stuff happens, people can't hide. That's what we need. And honestly, the great thing about live streaming is I can afford to ramble a little bit. I have a tendency to do that in my videos and then have to edit it all out. I can do that here a little bit because this shit matters to me. And a lot of you guys, it matters to you. And so far, we're moving the right direction. Again, thank you all for joining me today. You made my first stream feel far more successful than it should have. I legitimately did not expect anyone. So the fact that I've had numbers, it's not super great, but it's the first stream. It's freaking amazing. So, you guys are great, man. Seriously, I can't rave about you guys enough. Like, yo, dogs, y'all are amazing. But yeah, we're going to probably wrap it up here. It's a little short of 3 hours, but I mean, people are starting to drop out anyways. And I am literally running out of shit. There was no plan. There was no plan today. This was just me running my mouth. Before we do that, if anyone's got anything they want to bring up, drop a comment. Takes a little bit to get over to my end, There's a delay for the record. I guess it's so I could censor something if something goes sideways, although I haven't got a clue how the hell to actually do that. Uh, oh, hey, numbers are picking up a little bit. But yeah, if you got questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. Give me something to talk about, and I will stay on for a few more minutes. If not, well, then we won't, because me just sitting here surfing the internet is boring. Well, not boring for me, but probably boring for y'all. And there's nothing worse than seeing somebody who's streaming is just, oh, I've got the stream going. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Yeah, I got my phone. I'm not paying any attention to the people I'm supposed to be paying attention to. I fucking hate that shit. No? Okay. Well, guys, again, thank you all for joining me. I will probably find some other opportunities to do this one going forward. And keep following me on, if you're following me on X, it is at the Tom Knighton. If you're following me on Rumble, it is, of course, the Fourth Rail. YouTube, the Fourth Rail. Subscribe both ends if you want to. That'd be great. If not, totally cool. Again, we're probably going to be doing this some more. And on that note, I am going to wrap it up. Thank you all. You guys have been amazing today. First stream, had a lot of jitters, and you guys made it super easy. Bourbon also helped, for the record. Bourbon also helped. But I will see you all. I'll have a video up on YouTube on Sunday, 5:30 Eastern time, and a video, members only video over there on the YouTubes on Monday, same time. Again, thank you all, and I will see you all next time.